Tonight, 10 o'clock, everybody. I'm Bob Kloss.
And I'm Ashley Ketz. We have an update tonight to a Working For You investigation we brought you tonight at 6. Couples getting ready to walk down the aisle are watching their dream day become a disaster after a Little Rock wedding venue seemingly surprisingly mysteriously closed their doors for good.
Noah's Event Center has dozens of locations across the country, but it turns out the business is bankrupt, according to their lawyers. We're told that they have 2 weeks to shut down, which is bad news for all the brides and grooms out there who would book them for their big day.
Thinking that we're going to get the dream wedding and having that ripped away from us, it's like having my heart ripped out and stomped on.
Wedding woes in Little Rock after a venue closed its doors with zero notice. Now brides, grooms, and vendors are scrambling to find a new place to say, I do.
Our Haley Brooks spoke with some of the vendors today who had upcoming weddings at Noah's Event Center. She joins us now with more. Haley, what did they say?
Well, Bob, Ashley, I spoke with vendors who was supposed to be DJing a wedding next weekend at Noah's. Now they're in uncharted territory for the couples, but working to find a new place for the big day.
This has shattered some dreams today.
Wedding planners and vendors alike are picking up the pieces left behind when Noah's Event Center closed their doors.
There's some people right now that are literally besides themselves because they don't know what to do.
Joe Snell has been in the event industry for 15 years. Half of that time, he's worked closely with Noah's.
We do on average about 2,700, 3,000 weddings a year. We were doing probably 20 to 30 a year at Noah's.
Snell says he found out about Noah's closing like most of his clients on social media. To make matters worse, he's scheduled to work a wedding at Noah's in 1 week.
These brides and grooms, I feel horrible for them because now they have another uphill battle, 18 months worth of work that they're trying to accomplish in 3 or 4 days.
Snell and wedding planner Courtney Pitts are working closely with couples to find a new place for their big day.
There's not going to be a wedding at Noah's. Right now we're in limbo trying to figure out what venue we're going to choose, who's going to accept us at this last minute notice.
Pitts' couple was supposed to walk down the aisle on July 4th.
We're just moving forward. We're going to keep the wedding date if we can at all possible, and we're just going to move forward. We're going to have fireworks on her wedding day.
We've never had anything like this happen in Little Rock where a venue has just said we're open and now we're closed.
Snell says he has 5 weddings scheduled to be at Noah's, and now he's working with couples to figure out the next move. As for Pitts, she's using this experience as a learning tool, and in the future will be recommending to everyone to get event insurance. Bob, Ashley, back to you.
A wedding and event venue in West Little Rock closes suddenly today, leaving dozens of couples up in the air.
Some learned just days before their wedding, like Shatara Bateman, who tonight is left hoping for closure.
Your wedding day is the most important day of your life, you know, especially for a woman. So, you know, we've been planning this since we were young. And to walk in, to find a place and make payments on time and get it done, you know, my wedding's paid for 5 months in advance. So, like, now I have to come up with, you know, more money.
But other wedding venues across Central Arkansas are not letting brides like Bateman go without their special day.
THV 11's Melissa Ziguich shows us what these venue owners are doing for the couples affected by the shutdown.
Venues like here at Angelo's Garden just outside Little Rock are stepping up to the plate and helping brides quickly throw together a wedding.
We were like, okay, we've got to help out.
Uje and Monea Unyeri knew they had to do something when they heard dozens of couples are suddenly without a wedding venue.
I can only imagine just being a woman and being a bride before, how that would feel.
Their venue, Angelo's Garden, is located in Mayflower.
If it was up to me, I'd give it for free.
They're giving big discounts to couples affected by the Noah shutdown.
Up to 50%.
They feel it's the right thing to do.
So that's all that we want, is just to get some of our costs covered, and then pretty much we will be making zero profit on it.
Vendors have also reached out,
who have told us that they will match the discounts that we have.
The Unyeris are hosting an open house Saturday so couples can quickly make a decision.
Even if they don't book with us, at least they have the opportunity to book with other vendors who've reached out to us.
Our hearts just go out to those brides.
Hillbrook Farms in Twin Groves is also stepping up.
We will give them a 20% discount.
Event manager Karen Baker says brides just need to provide proof they were originally booked with Noah's.
I can't imagine imagine being that person and that happening. It's an unfortunate circumstance.
Some of the brides were losing about $7,000.
The Unyeris are doing all they can to reduce that sudden financial burden.
So that way, at the end of the day, this story is one of people coming together to help out, as opposed to just a disappointment of losing money and losing your venue and your date that you've held so passionately.
Even more venues around Central Arkansas are willing to help brides out. For a complete list of them, go to thv11.com. Reporting from Mayflower, Melissa Zigowitz, THV 11 News.
The state attorney general's office got 4 complaints about the closing before lunch today. They are reviewing the circumstances to see if they can get some kind of relief for those customers.
Evening to you. It is supposed to be the happiest day of their lives, but tonight some Central Arkansas brides-to-be find themselves without a wedding venue.
They woke up to the news on social media. Noah's event venue abruptly closing. Maureen Glisovic joins us with the nightmares this is now causing. Maureen?
Well, one bride was hyperventilating this morning and had to leave work, while another is supposed to have a reception in 2 weeks. And get this, none of the brides we spoke with have been notified by Noah's. They all found out on social media.
Our wedding is the 22nd, 2 weeks away.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, and we've just made the last payment as of last Friday.
Nearly 200 guests are expected to attend Tanya and Clarence's wedding, but just weeks away from their big day, Noah's event venue abruptly shut its doors.
They have been taking payments from us twice a month since July.
How much money have you guys paid them so far?
$5,900.
Yeah, about that.
About 50.
Now what are you guys going to do?
We have no clue.
Wedding planner Kimberly Jenkins has 4 brides who also paid in full to hold a reception at Noah's.
One bride hyperventilated. She literally had to leave work today.
Jenkins tells KETV while she's quickly working with other venues to rectify this mess, it's not just Noah's and the brides that are now affected.
That trickles down to all of these businesses. So those are expenses that has been paid out in advance. And so now you have to go back to these vendors and say, are you available for this other day that we're now looking at? And if they're not, then now that affects them too financially.
And when KETV attempted to speak with someone at Noah's, the doors were locked.
Doesn't look like anybody's in here.
And I did make calls to the corporation and attorneys associated with the owner, but did not hear back. Now, keep in mind, the venue holds other events, including church on Sundays, so there's no telling how many people are now affected. Now, if you have an event planned there, you're encouraged to contact the Arkansas Attorney General to file a complaint. Chris?
Okay, Maureen Glisovic for us tonight on your side. Maureen, thanks so much. Now, the man behind the company that owns and operates this venue and others like it does have a checkered past. Bill Bowser is the president of Noah Corporation. He's been accused in a lawsuit of running a Ponzi scheme using money from people who invested in his venues to pay earlier investors. It all came to a head in May when Noah Corporation filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Documents reviewed by Channel 7 show Bowser claimed between $1 million and $10 million in assets and between $10 million and $50 million in liabilities. Bowser is being sued by hundreds of investors. He's already been ordered to surrender $845,000 from the sale of his Utah home. And by the way, the website for Noah's event venue with a link to the location here is still online tonight.
Couples getting ready to walk down the aisle are watching their dream day become a disaster.
Thinking that we're going to get the dream wedding and having that ripped away from us is like having my heart ripped out and stomped on.
They just found out they don't have a place to get married. Noah's event venue is closing its doors for good.
The company has dozens of locations across the country, including one right here in Little Rock, in West Little Rock. Our Susan LaCorey went there today. Susan, what did you find out?
Bob and Ashley, turns out Noah's is bankrupt. I didn't get that from the company, though. I reached out to them a few times today, but still haven't heard back. It's actually their bankruptcy lawyer who filled me in. He told me a judge just gave the company 2 weeks to shut down. But when I went to their spot in Little Rock, well, I found they were already closed. Holding hands to see the place.
Every little girl grows up dreaming about a perfect wedding.
They should have walked down the aisle.
We came up here not expecting anybody to be up here.
Just as David Henderson and his fiancee Crystal expected. They're locked out of Noah's event venue after finding out the company is suddenly closing.
This morning we were upset, crying, and then after we got here, we're just a little bitter.
They've paid thousands of dollars for the wedding they're supposed to have here in just a few months.
I have a dress fitting tomorrow, and now I'm not sure if I should even go.
Word of the West Little Rock spot closing spread quickly. Couples stood outside hoping for answers. Instead, Noah silently took down their Facebook page and keep sending phone calls to voicemail.
I'm just trying to see what can be done or what's going on.
This is how Jalecia Long spent her lunch break, upset the company she's trying to reach may have had more warning. Noah's declared bankruptcy last May, but kept booking weddings.
That was my special day, and there's something that I won't be able to get back. At least tell me something, and no one is giving me any answers.
Her and her fiance got second jobs to pay for their wedding.
$5,500 is the amount that we have lost.
It's a hard hit, leaving couples putting what they do have in perspective.
I just know I'm going to get to marry my best friend at some point, so that's the happiest part for me.
At this point, it's unclear exactly when Noah's will close all of its locations. We only know that it has to be within 2 weeks. I did just hear from a bride out in Michigan that her venue is already gone. Here in Arkansas, the Attorney General's office is looking into what happened. So far, they've had 4 people report this, and they're asking anyone affected to file a complaint with them. Back to you.
Susan, thanks very much. Several wedding venues around Central Arkansas have already stepped up to offer discounted rates for couples affected by this. We put a list of those places up on our website, krk.com. Very generous offer.
KRK is always working for you to give you a voice. If there's something happening that you think deserves a closer look, let us know about it. You can call the tip line here or send us an email.
Dozens of couples planning their weddings at a West Little Rock event center are in for a rude RSVP. A bankruptcy court judge ordered Noah's event venue close immediately.
TV 11's Rolly Hoyt tells us the scramble is on now to change plans, and many are going to be out of a lot of money. Rolly?
Craig and Marlisa, it is a nuptial nightmare and a problem for other groups like nonprofits that have been planning fundraisers. The company had been counting on a big January to stay afloat, but lawyers tell me today that bad publicity at other locations as they closed ended up sealing their fate.
I've cried twice already.
Shatara Bateman is a small business owner and an Army vet. She's also a bride-to-be in need of a new place to celebrate her wedding.
One of my sisters told me to go look at Noah's event venue. And when I walked in, I just automatically knew that that was the place that I wanted to have my wedding.
But you can't walk in there anymore. The doors are locked and window shades are drawn, all after a bankruptcy judge in Utah told the venue's parent company to close it down. Brides like Bateman found out today through social media.
It's hard because it's, it's our hard-earned money, and, now it's gone, and I don't know if we're going to get anything back.
It has just kind of been devastating. Had one bride to hyperventilate. I had one bride to say, Miss Kim, I know that you have this in your hand.
And wedding planner Kimberly Trull has her hands full now trying to relocate 4 clients left high and dry by Noah's. As word spread on social media, offers to help rolled in.
We've been talking with them about providing services at a discounted rate for these brides that have had this tragic incident to happen.
New venues will come through, but most will probably be out a lot of money. Bateman deposited about $4,000. Lawyers for the company told me there could be as many as 7,500 people looking to get paid, and the company just doesn't have any money.
I don't know. I'm kind of in limbo. I don't even know if I want a wedding right now, after everything, so.
Now, the state attorney general's office got 4 complaints about the closing before lunch today. They are reviewing the circumstances to see if they could send some kind of relief to those customers.